Who does the recap?
I think it's sheep.
Sheep?
It's probably
It's gotta
me.
be sheep.
Alright, sheep, do the recap,
The
please.
chat has decided.
Where the hell did we start last time?
You're the one recapping.
I know, right? I just have to quickly think. We did the Eagles. What did we do before
I believe
the
last
Eagles?
time we started after having like a week or something of downtime.
Oh yeah, we came back from a week of downtime that we spent in Gaston Hall doing all sorts of shenanigans. Mostly shopping, because Zacharias doesn't want to craft items ever again for anyone.
No.
Except himself, maybe. I don't
Maybe.
know. And then I think we set out to look for the Stormborn King, the eagle guy, right away. Unless I'm forgetting something important. But since I'm not getting interrupted, then I'm assuming that's correct. We knew that he was somewhere in the Cabraya, so we went to Devon, I believe. And then went to the prison because for some reason we knew that there were some Cabraya natives in the prison for some reason, so we wanted them to lead us there, basically. But it was either we take the entire group or they didn't want to go, so we just ignored them pretty much. And then we went to the Cabraya to look for the Stormborn King. After a quick search, we found the area that he was supposed to be in, found his lair, and basically just marched in there and ripped him to pieces, rather elegantly, I have to say. Because Azirius got a crit with a harm and just exploded him.
It was pretty good.
And then we found someone very special. Telemondus' brother, one of his many brothers. And oh, was that a nice meeting. Not for him, though, but for Telemondus certainly, since he could basically say whatever the hell he felt like saying, and that is what he did. And in the end, we wanted to convince him to basically act as a messenger for us, since we had to contact Chargammons somehow. And he agreed to do it, and then fucked off. So we went to his lair hoping that he would be there as we kind of told him to do, but he wasn't, and after a quick commune, we now know that he is at Chargammons' lair and ignored us completely. And that's where we start. We went over the mountains again, looked for like a small village or something to raid, because we felt like raiding something, and apparently bringing snacks to Chargammon doesn't sound like the worst idea, which I agree with. So now we are camping in a mineshaft somewhere. That's it, I think. Also, the entire time I've been doing a recap, I've been scrolling all over the place, and the people on my stream are probably going to hate me for it.
I'm watching a stream and I hate you for it.
Okay, good.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, we are not in Devon right now, even though our tokens are.
No, we're not a thing. Anyway.
We're like here or something.
Oh yes,
we're
of course, I'm Rodrigo.
somewhere in here. Rodrigo. Zacharias will at the outset of everything, like when the new day dawns or whatever, emerge from his little corner of the mine shaft where he sat down. You know, had his little mage light thing bobbing around so he could read, and he will come out and have a slightly puzzled look on his face.
Right now, it's probably like sitting over a fire, which is actually probably breathing the smoke off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zacharias will look upon you and he says, I have been reading some. You recall that in the Vale we acquired a book called the Codex of Badamus the Stargazer.
A book never before decoded by anyone.
Zacharias smiles. I have decoded it.
You're good at first. You're good at doing first times forevers, aren't you?
Well, someone with my prodigious intellect has to pass the time somehow, does he not? He smiles. I gazed upon its pages in search of an answer to the current problem we have, and with that I mean the absence of Marcus. It pauses for effect and then continues. It seems that the codex yields a lot of information depending on the questions you ask to it. With the proper encryption or decryption key, a lot of knowledge can be learned. I have learned that some answer to our problem actually lies ahead somewhere. Apparently, long ago, up in the far north, a man or creature of some kind ventured into the deep blackness beneath the ice and found horrors beyond describing. From these horrors he learned many things, among them how to bring back that which is undead to life. He pauses for effect again. Sadly, this powerful individual was brought low by something referred to as a laughing hammer of copper, and a silver anvil. Not destroyed, however. The pages seem to refer to the creature being too powerful to destroy. Rather, it was imprisoned in something called the Unseen Vault. Exactly where this vault is located, I do not know for the moment. It has something to do with crystals, however.
Interesting.
I believe that if we can find this prison, we can perhaps learn what we need to bring Marcus back.
Quite a large task.
Oh, no doubt.
Karen
now-
shrugs.
But now we have an inkling of where to look.
You've narrowed the playing field.
Yes, somewhat at least.
Well,
Doesn't
it's
sound any less impossible than what we are about to try. So I see no problem with it.
Indeed. Well, Zacharias looks around. Are we ready then to leave for the... oh gosh, I need to turn off the sounds, actually, because this is a new install, and there's a lot of sounds now. How do I do that? Like the blip sounds when someone writes in the chat?
Edit, preferences,
Mm,
sounds.
okay. Yes. There we go. No sounds. Ugh. Yeah. Where was I? Yes, well, he looks about. Are we ready to leave for our most certain doom or success?
I don't think we are. There's no point rushing there. We'll be late either way, so we should probably take a day or so and be properly prepared for what we're going to face.
We have already taken 2 days, Karen.
2 days is nothing.
Are you nervous?
We are on a schedule. What more would you need?
I suppose we should just go there.
Shall I summon the winds?
Indeed, I think that is an excellent idea. Zacharias looks around. Remember that we stand before Chargammon, the black heart of dragonkind, and most possibly one of the most powerful dragons in all of Telengard, if not the world. Subservience and bowing and scraping will no doubt be required. Insulting him would be unwise.
Yeah.
That Azurus will call the airwalk to take us to our destination.
And we will let Chiron lead the way to our destination because he knows the way.
He knows the way, indeed.
Points now, summon the magic wind.
And where does Chiron lead them?
East, I would assume. I'm not sure where exactly the island was, but I think it's east.
Wasn't it west?
Was it west? I'm not sure anymore.
It's
He
west.
certainly... It's west. Okay, let's go west instead.
Yes. As I said before, the eastern side of Telengard was once used very much by pirates who like to sail up and down and such, because the waters there are kind of easier to navigate, while the place around the Cape Briar has a lot of the mountains sort of stretching out, making very dangerous reefs, and it is known for basically shredding boats that attempt the voyage. Hence why cities like Farhold is so small, because there's not a whole lot of traffic there.
And now it's really small because plague.
Haven't really been there in a long time. You're gonna get close, however. Chargammon throne is around here.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, around there. Okay. That's almost east, right?
Northeast,
Kyron can, of course, tell you what he knows.
northwest.
What does Kyron know of Chargammon's throne?
Chiron would know that the only way to access it is an underwater tunnel system of sorts, which makes sense since black dragons tend to prefer like water and stuff. He would also know that it is full of toxic acidic gases and all that fun stuff that is not going to be very pleasant for anyone who is not a black dragon. And other than that, apart from the fact that Chargammon's lair has a Chargammon in it, that's pretty much all that he considers to be important.
So we need to go underwater to get in?
Yes.
That'll be a problem.
That is troublesome.
Not too far, but still.
I assume no one has an air bubble available.
So what sort of route do you take over land? Do you attempt to fly mostly over land or mostly over water?
We take the
Water
shortest.
easy to get lost.
I mean, we take the shortest route, and if the shortest and shortest route we know, I guess.
The shortest route would be almost, very close to the horn, really.
Oh, that's a,
Or more.
Maybe we don't really want to get close to
nah,
that.
maybe we just,
Stay a
you know,
distance from there, or
yeah.
As long as we don't get lost like overseas or something for some reason, should be fine.
sure.
Your survival skill has never let us down before.
It's
I
rare, you
remember
can
that.
look down at the jungle, and it just looks like a mess to you. If you were down there on foot, you would have no idea where to go. And you fly over sort of it's not really a jungle, more like a huge, thick forest, almost like a semi-temperate jungle, because not really a tropical climate there. But flying over it, you hear the roars of creatures down there. You see some patches where it's burned. I mean, this forest is known for its monsters, and that most definitely is still true to this day. This part of it doesn't really seem to be plagued by anything other than what it always is plagued by. And well, then you cross out over the water and see the many sort of spikes of black stone that go up here on these islands. Fly over the water. The wind is rather strong out here, especially up where you're flying. It's a little easier down between the reefs as you're sort of a little more sheltered, but the visibility is not very good up there. It takes, some hours,
Sure.
quite a few in fact. I think you're flying enough though.
Yeah, well, our flying is going to last like 13 hours
Yeah.
at 65 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Get that.
To get over the water, until finally Kyron sees what is it's sort of a weird sense of familiarity. Really, it's like kind of like a déjà vu for him when he sees the three semi-large sort of black, very tall spikes in the water, almost barren of all vegetation, sort of wind blown and just sort of twirled and twisted a bit. Looking like three black horns stabbing at the sky.
Then I suppose Chiron would mention that it might be a good idea to be prepared for everything, even though that advice is completely pointless since
Would you
yeah,
think
it's
resistance against acid might be a decent idea?
very much so.
Well, Karen, of course, having told Zacharias before that we were going have to go underwater, Zacharias has prepared air bubble.
Does that only fit you?
Right, Kyron?
Yeah, of course.
You're not gonna overnight on these wind-blown rocks.
No.
Would be very hard.
Downside, it only affects one person.
Yeah.
You do see some sort of when you look down. It seems like there's some creatures that live here. They're sort of small, impish creatures with long fingers. And they seem to sort of. I mean, Zacharias can see them barely. They're so well hidden as they sort of seem rock-colored, black color, dark eyes as well. One of them is sort of slowly devouring a bird. It seems to have been caught. It seems to have caught as it hides in the crevices. They're not very sort of big. Probably wouldn't be dangerous to you, but they're certain to give a creepy veneer to the place.
I assume Zacharias would also have like resist energy prepared, so I don't need to have it on everyone.
No, he has that prepared.
Aaron's going to cast it on himself as well, and I forgot to open my character builder to keep track of spells.
And the answer time is 30.
We buff acid, I do believe, right?
Acid resistance.
Yep.
Who
Only
would have
30?
guessed?
Only 30?
Resistance, not protection.
Resistance, not the protection. I'll be putting the protection on top of that.
Okay, so resist acid 30 and then there's protection from acid. Okay.
Yeah, protection will be 120 like HP,
Okay.
which is a lot of HP.
Keep getting 14s. Okay, before heading in there, Kyron is going to get every buff imaginable because that seems like a good idea.
I think we're all gonna do that.
There's not too many I can put on you. I can put the resistant ones on. All the rest of them aren't long enough time. So I no longer how long it's going to take us to get there.
I mean, if we actually need to swim, freedom of movement might be a good idea to have on us.
Yeah, Manikai, would Kyron know how long it would approximately take, like, to meet Chargammon, like, starting from... like the
depends
entrance?
really on, a whole lot of things. Again, it's a very long time since the Chargammons has been here. A lot of things could have changed. There's a hole down there that you can sort of you swim down and then you swim in it. There's sort of air bubbles in there.
How long do we need to swim?
About 10 meters down.
And how long, approximately, until we get to, like, the less underwater cave system?
Remember that Zacharias cannot really swim, so I would probably need something like freedom of movement to actually be able to get around.
I have touch of the sea that Cash can make to an extract if
That would be useful for quite a lot of different people.
You need to prepare it though, right?
Yeah, it will take how long will it take to make it into
Which he
an
of course
extract?
has, since Kyron has informed us all
yeah,
that
that's true.
that we need to go underwater, right,
Well, this
Kyron?
sort of
God damn it.
in-session spell preparation is not really okay.
Kyron needs to be
It's
more...
common sense that a black dragon's lair's underwater, people.
We have never been to this lair. You need to you need to inform us these things. Otherwise, we need to fly back and wait another day.
I mean, in Cash's case, admittedly,
there's-
she can mix. Admittedly, Cash can mix potions on the fly. It takes like a 1 minute to mix a potion. So
Unless there is a way to actually just land on the island.
Well, you can land on the island, but you can't get into his lair because that entrance is underwater. And it's the only entrance that Kyron and Telemondus know.
yeah,
If you
Probably the
look on
best-
the island, is there any other way of entering that is like obvious? It's like a hole in the mountain or something?
It's just really three horn-like spikes stabbing at the air. There's sort of smaller rocks around. Very sort of. Most of them seem to be just below the surface, and they seem to reflect light in an interesting fashion that makes them basically almost invisible under the water. Spikes somewhere, different places. You can see sort of some bubbles bubbling up from below.
Well,
It also smells foul out
Then we
here.
need to go in the water. Well, in any
Sulfur.
case, anyone who needs it can get an air bubble for Zacharias.
it'd be very useful because a lot of us can't breathe underwater far enough.
Oh,
So I'll have one.
so Cash would prepare 4 touch of the sea.
You have like no level 1 spells, are you?
Or 5 if we need Grumblejack to come too. Do we?
It's probably a good idea to have him with us. We don't really want to leave him up on the cliffs. I mean, we don't really... But Malachi said you couldn't prepare the spells, so...
Well, I'm sure you had them prepared. What you said.
I mean, the alchemist has the advantage where she can also, she can mix them on the fly anyway. Presuming there's nothing else in the slot.
I'm gonna sit on the cliff here for a bit.
It literally takes a 1 minute per like elixir, so.
That's if you use unfilled spell slots, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't say if Tyne fills all of them up immediately or not, but
Well, if it is okay with the DM, then we have air bubble. What does Touch of the Sea do? Do we need air bubble?
you
with
grant
that?
a 30-foot. You get a 30-foot swim speed, a +8 bonus on swim checks.
Yeah.
I think that's all it gives you.
Yeah, I don't think you can breathe underwater.
It doesn't give you the ability to breathe underwater.
Then everyone
No.
has an air bubble, and everyone has the Touch of the Sea if the DM approves.
Sure.
If not, we fly
And
back.
find spells and do that.
Air bubble.
And touch of the sea.
And then we slowly descend into the waves. With Kyron first.
Yes, because he knows the way.
He does
It is
know.
not. It is sort of unpleasantly cold.
Ugh.
And all your stuff is soaked.
Ugh.
Or is it a bubble of air?
Luckily,
get
I
that
can
in
have
your head.
things in my pouch. Pouches.
All the bags of holding are filled with water.
Damn it. It will take
Le-
days to get it out.
We have bigger
cup-
problems to worry
cup by
about
cup
than
out.
wet clothes.
Yeah, it's fine because Zacharias can just precipitation water away.
It's true. Minor magics, I can do it. Alright, we descend into the black foamy maelstrom that is the sea around Chargammons Spire.
It is certainly very dark, and as you descend deeper, you see that it is. The sun is incredibly fast, sort of just gone, really. As you descend further down.
Three of us have dark vision.
As you continue, you see sort of the spire is narrow, and clearly it is a very thin and long spire going up. However, it does sort of breach out and get a little thicker, and then you get to, after a little while of swimming, you get to what seems to be a bubble of air. Sort of, you swim down, and then you look up, and you see a surface, or sort of a surface to the water of what seems to be a captured bubble of air. This could be the entrance.
Alright, I guess we ascend.
Assuming that it is in fact the entrance, Chiron would certainly make way for a whole different persona. Persona?
Is this the...
Personage?
Wait a minute, is this the actual entrance to his actual sanctum, or is this like...
Just caves.
Yeah, is this just caves? Because that doesn't last very long, so maybe you want to...
That is true.
Maybe you want to wait with that.
That is very true.
I kind of have a feeling that we are able to fill him.
Do we know this, Malachi, if this is the throne itself, or are we just in a...
Doesn't look like a throne. As you look in, you see some sheer cliffs. Everything here looks like it is sort of made of some sort of glass-like rock, as if it has been burned a long time ago. You see some sort of vegetation in there, very viney and sort of filled with thorns that stab everywhere.
Zacharias will fly up over the water and hover above it, and slowly make his way towards the...
You do hear some screeching from the sides, as what seems to be little black dragons almost, clearly drakes, however, move forward and sort of begin to dive to attack you.
Well,
Shadow drakes?
Zacharias will cry out that we should get out of the water. Because in the water we are kind of screwed, but up here...
Well, technically we can go under the water. We can move fine and everything. But
Do you want to fight the black dragons at their home turf, or do you want to fly
Drakes.
over them and actually blast them?
Maybe if we want to talk to Chargammon, killing his offspring isn't the best way to start.
Or is it?
He said
Bugs.
drakes.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually their offspring.
Well, if
I
they're drakes,
don't know
no.
what the relationship is like.
You're the dragon expert.
Well, it's his lesser cousin. It's your cousin, it's fine.
It flies out and lands in the water, seeming to be very deft in both air and water.
I'd rather be in the air than in the water.
They swing down from the cliffs. Cash.
Greater invisibility now,
It's up to you.
so I can just murder them. Sure, let's do that. Cash will cast greater invisibility and hope they can't see her.
Because then you can fly as well.
What am I doing? There we go.
What are you doing? That's a great question.
I thought that I had to click on active mods to do the. So, since it would be better to fight them in the air, so she will flap to get out of the water.
How far out the water are you going to go?
How far up are they?
They're in the water. It's sort of at the surface. Right down.
I mean, one thing is don't go too high because I can't give Blessing of Fur if you're really far away.
How far away?
Like you need to be within like 30 feet of wherever I stop. So
Just go, like,
20 then. Is that fine?
yeah, 20 will be fine.
Okay. And that's her turn.
Alright, she'll just stay over there. Alright, Zacharias.
Zacharias flies out of the water. Next to Cash, I think. It's probably good.
She's doing like 20 feet out of the air, so question how high up you're going to go.
I am 20 feet up in the air. Let's see here. Do we want to actually do something? We really don't know how powerful they are.
well, they are large sized even still.
They are. Zacharias will turn on the aura and cast mirror images on himself. And that's his turn.
Alright.
I'm mostly curious if there's anything that he knows about these. If there's anything that he knows about these.
Of course.
Of course. Good.
If my systems will respond to you. Or respond to anyone currently.
Chiron's memory has been erased by Modify Memory.
Wait, what did you say? I didn't understand it. Like, I didn't understand what you said.
Well, I attempted to answer to your question, but my Skype is freezing up. So,
Oh, okay.
for whatever reason.
Not even the DM can give you the
Maybe
answer.
too many programs open at the moment. All these damn PDFs and whatnot. Yes, Chiron would know, in fact, that these are the lesser cousins, as they're known by the family. They, are not really liked by anyone. They're semi-intelligent, just human intelligence, or a little above maybe. And they usually they sort of get drawn to the lair here, where they worship, as they call him, the master.
I see.
They can be quite ferocious, although of course no match for a dragon.
Of course, no match for a dragon, but we are not dragons, are we?
You are.
I don't suppose we can talk to them.
I think Chiron's going to try, actually. In Draconic, he'll shout at these, knowing what they are and what they do here. What would he shout? We are here to talk to Chargammon, your master. If you attack us, you might incur his wrath. Do you take that chance?
Sort of continue and say, the master does not accept visitors. Food.
Well, Chiron doesn't really want to talk to these guys anymore. Zacharias wants to talk to them, sure. He's just going to teach them that he's more of a dragon than they are. So how far away is that guy? 120. Can't quite. Actually, Chiron can fly. He'll spend like his move action to hop out of the water to be flying, and then spend another move action to move like over here, showing that he is not afraid of these drake
Then
thingies.
you're not within reach of Soria's spell.
Sirius can
That is
move a
true.
little bit.
He can move.
I can move a bit.
If he goes like 20, yeah, if he is 20, that should be enough, maybe? I don't know. It's hard.
Depends how high Chiron's gone, I guess.
If Karen goes up to about our height, that should be no problem. Because then you can fly up in between us and do it.
20 feet? Sure, 20 feet.
Because I rolled bad in my initiative. I rolled a 4.
Me too, like usual.
Well, no, you didn't roll bad. You rolled a 10.
Wow.
You rolled average.
I guess so.
In my case, I rolled a 4.
Is that
But the 4 is more than your average. Is